right, video number 2. Again, you can watch these in any order, but this is just the second video I'm recording. That's all. All right, what this video I'm going to cover is posts. In particular, these posts that are found in the latest news and stories. So I'm going to flip on over to my admin area, my dashboard over here, and I'm going to click on the posts over here on the left-hand navigation. Right now, when I click on this, this gives me to my post listing area. So this is all the posts that are on the site currently. The title, when you hover over them, it gives you this kind of extra menu where you can trash, you can view, you can quick edit or edit. By clicking on the title of that post or clicking on this edit button down here, it'll take you to the exact same place. So I'm just going to go ahead and dive right in, and we're going to click on to see what kind of, the edit area of this post. So here we go. When I click on it, this gives me the full edit area. This will look very familiar, hopefully, at some point, because this is going to be pretty much the same setup for pages, for events, as well as all of the special like homepage slideshow and service times area. So you should get used to this pretty quickly. Just a quick overview here. So up here is the title. So this is going to be what is going to show up here is this title right here, as well as when I click in to the full article, it'll show up here larger. So make sure that that's something that relates to that post, like the title of an article. Then underneath that, the permalink, this is useful if you want to be able to give someone the link directly to that article or to this news story. I can copy this address. This is where where you're going to find this post. And I can actually flip over here and we'll see that this is the same right there. If I change this title here, I can actually edit this this address or the later part of this address. But it's not recommended to change the address if you've already published the address, to, for example, like posted it on put it on a poster or something like that, or send it via email. Then leave this the same. But before you actually publish it and you wanted to change that address here to make it shorter or clearer or take out some weird characters or whatever, you can do that and then hit the OK button, and that'll change that. Underneath that, we have this upload insert, which I'll go over in more detail later. And then this main box here is the body of this post. So right now I am in what's called visual view. So I'm seeing this kind of empty box here, or this strange looking box here. That's because that's a video embed. So if I actually click on here, click on it once, it's actually, if it were a photo, it would give me an edit screen, but I do not. So for video is kind of special. This is where this HTML tab is going to be useful. Visual, it's going to show up like if you're editing a Word document and you wanted to make this bold, for example, I can highlight that and click this B here to make that bold. I can also do things like, I'll put a couple spaces here, and let's say I want to add a title for a second section, let's say photos, and some paragraph text. So let's say I want to make this this photos as a second section of this post. So I can highlight this, and then under this drop down right here where it says paragraph, I'm going to click on the little arrow next to it, and I'm going to make it a heading. I would recommend not using heading 1. Well, heading 2 is also pretty large. These basically go down in size. So I'm going to do a heading 3 because it's a subheading. Heading 1s are usually reserved for one on the page, like the page title, which in this case would be the article title, or this post title. Heading 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever. I'm just going to do 3 because I think that's going to be a good size. So now we can see it's made that change. I can go ahead and either update or preview the changes over here on this right hand side. So let's just do this. I'm going to preview the changes so that we can kind of see what this looks like. When I hit preview changes or save as draft, both of those things will save them only in the back end and not be public on the website. So see, here we go. I have my photos that the title, that's the H3, header 3, and then a paragraph of text underneath it. So there's my changes that I made. So let's go back to my edit post here. Let's just save this. Let's just update this. And I'm going to go back to the live page. Now let's say, oops, I really didn't mean to update that. I made a mistake. I deleted a paragraph or instead of a sentence or whatever. All of these posts have what's called revisions. Now, it may not show up in this edit screen unless you have it turned on. If I click here under the screen options on the top right, revisions is unchecked. So if I check that, and I'll close this, now I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here. It should be, here's my revisions. So in other words, if you don't see this revision box either here or over here on the right, again, you can modify anything by dragging and dropping. That would be taken care of by checking that box on that revisions in the screen options. So now I can say, okay, I want to go, let's roll back. So I can click on any of these and I can compare and contrast what changes were made. So now I can see here's my current revision, and the old, I'm going to do this autosave here because I'm not really sure. And I'm going to click on this, this compare revisions. Okay. And once this loads here, oops, those are identical. Okay. Well, then let's go back here. Let's compare revisions for the September 6th. Okay. So here we go. This is going to show us the green over here is the current revision, where it says newer, and the older is this here. And in the red and the green, this shows, what was added and or subtracted. Okay, so, oh look, yeah, that's right. I hit a heading 3 and some paragraph text that I added. Okay. But I want to roll back to this one, let's say. Okay. So now I'll go here, find the revision that I want, and click on this restore button down here on the right next to, and the same thing right next to the revision I want to restore to. So I click on restore, and it's going to drop me right back to my administration or my edit area, showing me with, this current, whatever I rolled back to. This revision. Okay, so now when I hit that update button, that's going to make the changes public on the site. Okay, there we go. Now my internet's working. Okay, so like I was talking about this visual and this HTML view, I flipped over here into this HTML view. This is something that if you're going to embed a video, you're going to need to switch into HTML view. Otherwise, feel free to use the visual view if you're more comfortable in that. This is the same. This isn't actually making any changes to the the body itself, or the text itself, the content itself. It's just in how you see it. And another thing about this visual view here, I have 2 rows of this WYSIWYG editor, which is basically what it means. It stands for is what you see is what you get. So that means now if I highlight something and make a change, like make it bold, I'm going to see it here, and that's what you're going to get on the website. This may or may not be shown, these 2 rows. You can actually find this second row by clicking on this last icon over here on the top column, which is when you hover over it, it says show hide the kitchen sink. And if any of these icons you don't know what it means, hover over it and it'll give you an idea or a description of what it is. But the main ones that you'll be using here is this paragraph and headings menu over here, this bold and italics, and then unordered and ordered lists. I would recommend not doing anything with like text color because there is already colors on the website, the text and everything, because you don't want to change the text to be orange if there's an orange background. So just to keep things readable, I wouldn't do anything with the color. To create and add links, you can basically highlight, and then these insert edit link becomes active, and I click on this button and it gives me this ability to put the URL. So putting the full URL, let's say it's MilwaukeeSynod.org, you want to link to the Synod website, so you keep the HTTP in there, MilwaukeeSynod.org. The title, that means that when someone hovers over the link, it's going to give them a little description on what that is. Or, for example, if I wanted to link it to something that's already on the website, this gives me, under this little arrow over here, it gives me a chance to link directly to something that's already on the website. So I don't have to even remember that address. I can just find, okay, I want to link this to Adult Spirituality event. So I click on this, and it auto-populates that with that URL. And then I click add link, and that makes that text that link. So now, and if I want to, let's say, I didn't really want to make that a link, this next button right next to it is unlink. There we go, I just unlinked it. It's got spell check, and the full screen mode to help you, if you're going to write some larger articles, to release the distraction of all the extra stuff on the side. The only other really important part here is we've got categories. So this is something to kind of help filter the news and events. Again, we're just talking about the news and events right now. So right now there's general, there's a category of Milwaukee, like community stuff, the newsletter, so articles from the newsletter can be selected as a category of newsletter, so just check that box. You can check multiple ones as well. Let's say it's general and an update from the pastor. You can check on as many as you want. This will just help people filter through the stories that they want. If you want to add a new category, you can add right from here, and just say, just type in the category name. Make the category somewhat general. So the tags would be something that would be more specific. So if there's a certain product or a certain event, I would use those as tags. So then just have, so this can be local, and then separate them with commas. So local mission gathering, GMG, synod-wide event. It's just something like that. So I click on add those, and it's going to add each of these. And I'll say, I don't know, GMG, no one's going to know what that means. So I can just click that X, and that deletes that tag from this post. So that, and anytime you're making these changes, click on this update. Now this is going to make them public. Like I said, preview changes will just will kind of give you a preview when you're logged in as in the administration area. Update will actually make them public on the website. So this is kind of the post. I'm going to go more into detail on adding images as well as kind of this translation in later videos.